Sisters, I am so excited to announce to you that I have officially opened my one-on-one coaching business as now a certified mommy millionaire life and transformation strategist. I've opened up my coaching business where you get to work with me directly to heal and transform your life. Do you have a knowing in your soul that you have more to you? Do you have this knowing and you're just not sure how to access it? Are you miserable because of it? Do you feel like you're just mom and you know that there's more than being just mom? Are you feeling stuck in your life and you know that you were created to be, have, and do more than what was already going on? Listen, I totally get you, sister. I've been there and it was one of the most crushing places to sit in. You're feeling stuck, like you will never get where you want to be. You've been spinning your wheels in the dirt and are not getting there. I was there too until I hired myself a coach. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you move from that place into a place where you know and have a deep-seated vision where you want to go and how you're going to get there. I'm here to help you to find more purpose and joy and laughter in your life. I'm here to help you move from that place into a place of creative thinking, taking actions towards your goals on a daily basis. And I'm here to help you understand that there's nothing wrong with you, to understand the blocks that are truly holding you back and how to break free from them. I know that my purpose is to help women just like you become free and so radically in love with your life that everything you desire becomes a reality for you. So, how can you work with me? I am offering one-on-one coaching sessions for an amazing deal right now with my beta group. You get 5 sessions for $200, and this is going to the first 10 people who sign up with me. After that, this pricing is going to go away and it will not be available ever again. So if you want to work directly with me, shoot me an email at katrinalully@gmail.com, or you can always find me on Instagram or Facebook and send me a direct message that way. I would love to get on a call with you and talk about whether or not this would be a good fit and how we can transform your life and get you moving forward and out of that place where you feel miserable, like you have no purpose and that you're just stuck. So reach out to me because these 10 spots are gonna fill up fast. Hello and welcome back to the Just As We Are podcast. My name is Katrina Lully and I am your host. I am incredibly just kind of giddy over this episode today. I got to sit down with a friend of mine, Becca Duskin, who is a registered nurse and certified health coach. We met through our church and I love this conversation that we get to have because I've known Becca for a few years now and I've known her more so afar, and we're a part of a community together, a smaller group of community through our church, and I've gotten to know her a little bit more. In this conversation, she was so vulnerable and open, and I appreciated that with her, that I got to know her even more. After being married for 23 years, Becca found herself divorced and having to go through some transitions. We talk about her faith and the importance of that through all of this, how important co-parenting is, and her beautiful girls at the forefront of her mind. She shares a little bit about her online dating experiences, like what is that like after being out of the game so long? It's totally a different world out there. We touch on perfectionism and tears and how important it is to not have to be so strong for so long. This truly is like two friends sitting down to catch up over a cup of coffee, and you all get to be a part of that. So through being a nurse since 2002 and seeing the rapidly declining health of people as a result of the rise in lifestyle preventable diseases, Becca became interested in changing the face of healthcare through health coaching. Growing up with serious body image and self-confidence issues, which led to a deeply personal relationship with disordered eating and body dysmorphia, she tried almost every diet out there, just like most women do, to lose weight so she could look better and feel like she was actually valuable. When she was on vacation in Cancun, Becca was blessed to meet a health coach. She ended up investing in his program and it absolutely changed her life. Through one-on-one coaching and group sessions, Becca was able to lose the weight and look in the mirror and not see a hugely distorted image. She now looks at her body with awe, and she loves sharing the same gift with other women. Her greatest and most rewarding journey is that of being a mom to 2 daughters. She is blessed to be able to be a role model and raise 2 beautiful girls to be strong, healthy, confident, and compassionate women in this world who live their best lives every day and thrive. And I love that. And I adore her beautiful girls. And I cannot wait for you guys to dive on in. Welcome to the Just As We Are podcast. I'm Katrina Lully, a wife, mom in recovery, certified life and transformation strategist, community cultivator, lover of people, and student of life. Each week, I'll bring you love, inspiration, share the harder things people are afraid to talk about, and guests who are willing to shine their light for you. I give you self-care practices and mindset tips to help you shatter the negative stories you tell yourself. Now is the time to step into the beautiful, loved, whole woman you already are. Let's walk this journey together. Welcome back to the Just As We Are podcast. I'm your host, Katrina Lully, and I am sitting down with a friend of mine, Becca Duskin, who I am just excited to dive into this conversation with. Becca, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so excited for this. And so just start out with, tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from, that type of thing.
My name is Becca. I am born and raised in Washington, up north, and then moved down here before having kids and stuff. And I am a nurse. So I've been a nurse since 2002. Spent most of my career in pediatrics, up at Children's Hospital doing pediatric solid organ transplant and cardiac surgery for a few years. And then down here doing pediatric trauma I think I was doing that for about 12 years. And about 2.5 years ago, I transitioned into being a sexual assault nurse. So I do that here in Pierce County. And then I also dabble in humanitarian aid work and do disaster relief internationally. And then last year, I got certified as a health coach. And so I'm super passionate about changing the face of healthcare in the country and really making it so that our kids are growing up in a society where health is the norm and disease is not the norm.
I really love that so much because I think that we're just so focused on, I love that it's shifting now, that it's more health focused rather than treating that disease and keeping us sick.
Yes.
And it's so big when I talk to people who are in the healthcare profession who are starting to really see that as well.
Yes. And our bodies are amazing and they can heal themselves if we give it the chance instead of just putting a bunch of medicine and pharmaceuticals into it. Just kind of give your body a chance to do it itself, which is fun to play with.
Yes, yes. And so you're also a mom.
I am, yes.
2 girls?
I am, yes. My oldest will be 15 here in a month. You don't even know what to say about that. And then my youngest is 11. She'll be 12 this summer.
I just know who I get to come to when, Haley's getting there. She just turned 14. And then Cassidy, she's 11 going on 16. So it's like, I'm so grateful for people like you and who are already going through that, who know. I'm like, Becca, help me. What do I do?
Yeah. Well, here's what you shouldn't do. I don't know if I can tell you what to do at this point.
Hey, that's better than the other.
Yes.
I love that. So what drew you to be a nurse? Did you always want to be a nurse, or how did that happen?
No, I had spent most of my childhood wanting to be an astronaut or a marine biologist or something. And then I was in a pretty severe car accident when I was 16 and fractured my spine and was in the hospital for 3 weeks in ICU for some time in a lot of recovery. I think I missed the rest of school that year in recovery. And that kind of drew me to the medical profession a little bit. And then my first year in college, I just really wanted a job that was going to make money and give me great hours. So I started doing dental hygiene and then realized I didn't want to do that and started volunteering in some medical places and really decided nursing was what I wanted to do. Yes. And I'm an adrenaline junkie. And so trauma and that kind of stuff was always high on my list of priorities. Originally, I wanted to be an airlift nurse and do helicopter nursing, but yeah.
Wow. And you choose not only you're adrenaline junkie, so you choose like high trauma and then kids.
Yes.
Which it takes very special people in my mind to be in that field.
Yes. You know what? I really have never had a desire to work with adults. I think adults, most of the reasons, and which is why I'm a health coach now, I think, most of the reasons adults are in the hospital are of their own doing. I mean, it's their lifestyle choices that they've made. Whereas kids, it's not choices they've made. And when they're sick, and when you know it. And when they're not sick, you know it. Whereas adults, I think, and not all adults by any means, but they can kind of wallow in it.
Yeah.
And I'm sick. And kids are just not that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Although I do enjoy working with adults now in my sexual assault nursing as opposed to kids.
Right.
It's kind of a different realm.
Yeah. It's funny because I was looking back on some of my college, after the twins were born, I went back to college at Pierce. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I actually looked at doing pediatric nursing. I was like, I don't have the stomach for it.
Yeah.
I love kids most of the time. And I didn't end up going that way. So it's interesting that you talk about that. And then you made a transfer to sexual assault. How did you get
I did.
there?
So being a nurse in a pediatric emergency room, you get all the, all of the pediatric sexual assaults. And it just really, it bothered me that, first of all, it's super legal. And so you were taking nurses out of the care and of regular patients to be able to take care of these sexual assault patients for a significant amount of time. And then it was all new nurses and you just didn't have anybody that was specially trained for it. And I really felt like that was such a huge area where we should have specially trained people.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the emotional stuff that goes along with being a kid who's been sexually assaulted is crazy, and to take care of them in the appropriate way. And so I had done a ton of them in the ER and really wanted to kind of branch out. And I work for a company that actually consults. And so we cover all of the hospitals. So I'm not hospital based. And so, which is nice because I get to go around to different hospitals and see different people. And I do still do pediatrics as well, but the majority of my patients are adults.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's great hours. I work when I want to work and I don't work when I don't want to work.
Yeah. That's nice. I know that. I love that.
Yes.
And then talk a little bit more about your humanitarian work.
My passion in nursing. So I love humanitarian aid work. Disaster and going to help in that situation is amazing. I've gotten to go to some amazing, awesome places in this world and get to give back, which has been cool. I've done some work in central Mexico. I've been to Haiti twice. I've been to Africa. And then I spent a month in Bangladesh in a refugee camp getting to help. And yeah, it's just an amazing, being in a third world country and getting to practice third world medicine is something that is life-changing. And seeing how those people are so happy with so little. And then it takes a little transition to come back to the States after that, to transition back into our American mentality. But yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. I was watching some stories of somebody I follow on Instagram. She went to Africa to help teach kids. And it was just so cool because you got to see such a big piece of it. And I never thought I'd have a heart to go do that. Like, I feel for them and I love that, but it scared me more than, you know, going to another country. How do you, adapt? How do you get around all of the things? So I love that. Takes such amazing people to do that because not everybody can.
Yes.
And so there's true gifts in that, I think.
Yeah. It's amazing. It inspires me. The people that I meet in those places inspire me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I'm sure such a different way of living compared to here. I mean,
it is, yes. I truly wish that every teenage kid could go spend a 3-month period in a third world country just to be able to understand what they have here and what life is like in a huge majority of the rest of the world.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of sometimes think I should send Tristan. We're working on gratitude and remembering that, what we have here is a lot compared to.
Yes. But it's hard in this society. It's really hard to kind of leap that here in America.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily what's valued.
Yeah. And I know it's hard for me on those days, it's just like, well, this isn't working out the way I want to. And then you stop and look at the bigger picture. Okay, how important is it really? Mm-hmm. Am I covered? Do I have everything that I need? Yes. God always provides.
Definitely.
So that type of thing. So this last year has been one of an opportunity of growth for you.
Yes, it
and
has.
Difficulty.
Yes.
Share with us a little bit about what you've gone through.
So this last year, I spent all of my nursing career as a very part-time nurse for the most part. Spent most of my life as a stay-at-home mom. So went through a divorce this last year. So kind of rocked my world. Took away a huge piece of who I was as being a stay-at-home mom, and but it did allow me to figure out who I was without that. Mm-hmm. And it was thankfully right after the divorce, I entered my health coaching school, which was huge because we learned in my health coaching program that you got to go through it yourself and do that health life coaching piece along with it. So having that first 6 months of after being separated and having that, and obviously seeing therapists and things like that to get through it. But yeah, I got to find out a lot about who I was and what I wanted and what was important to me.
Yeah.
And a lot of that had been figuring that out in my marriage, but I don't necessarily feel that was as supported as I would have liked it to have been. And so being able to truly live into who I really want to be and get to concentrate on my dreams.
Yeah, I love that.
Has been awesome while being incredibly emotional. And I don't have really family of my own, so I lost a family in the process and lost, full-time mom. That's a huge piece of who you are, and trying to transition into just being a parent 50% of the time and how you navigate that has been a trial. And then delving back into the dating world.
Yeah.
I totally said I would never online date, and yet that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I hear that thing, never say never.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm assuming the divorce was pretty unexpected.
Yes and no. Hindsight is you get a lot of perspective in hindsight.
Right.
And it had probably been going downhill for a long time. But yes, in the moment, it was very unexpected.
Yes. And so I'm thinking how do you, because I know from a child's view coming from a known experience growing up, my parents divorcing, but you seem to have really handled it well, as far as not going into, I know there's probably anger there was resentment there, all of the things, but not taking that out in a way that affected your girls and making it big to do. We kind of talked about this, being your own coach in that time. Thank God for your program. And because it could have totally gone a different way. It
could have. Yes. And I don't know what about my children. It was because it wasn't like we didn't have a marriage where we fought every day. We had a marriage where we fought very little. So our girls never saw us fight. So I think they were just as blindsided. They were probably more blindsided than anybody because they had never seen us not quote unquote happy. And so whether that was good or bad, I feel like it was better for them because did the power go out?
It did.
Are we still on the computer?
Yeah, we're still
okay.
We're good.
Okay.
You're good.
So I kind of feel like that might have helped them transition. And I don't feel like they ever, obviously they got sad and they saw me, for a good 3 or 4 months, they saw me crying a lot. But I thought that was important for them too. I wanted them to be able to see that I wasn't just this stoic, this is okay thing. I wanted them to understand that it was a transition for everybody. And I think that helped them deal with it as well, to see me deal with it emotionally through all of it. And I think it brought us closer as mothers and daughters because we kind of were able to lean on each other. Yeah,
they seem to have been handling it pretty well.
They have. And they're actually the ones that signed me up for online dating. So I was like, okay, apparently you're ready for this. So yeah, I think they're doing really well. They've definitely had their ups and downs. I think just like any kid would, having your life torn apart.
Yeah.
But thankfully we are, for the most part, amicable in co-parenting, which makes it very easy to be able to have that fluidity back and forth.
Yeah. That is so essential because they're at a very critical age.
They are. Yeah. And they have 2 parents that love them dearly, and which is nice. And we don't argue in front of them. And we don't really argue for the most part anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So to talk to me a little bit more about this online dating. How has that experience been for you? Because it's been, how long were you married? 20?
I was married for 19 years. We were together for 23.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a long time.
It's a whole different world.
It is a whole different world. Yes. Online dating. It is interesting. I met a guy the other day who his pictures online were one thing, and in person, I think the pictures online were either 30 years old or not him at all. And I was like, why would you do that? Even if you want people to understand your personality over that, you've already lied. You've already been dishonest.
Yes.
So no, this isn't happening. So it's interesting, but I met some amazing people that have, I think God works in mysterious ways, and he has definitely through, I think, dating shown me what I deserve in a partner, what is out there. Having been with somebody for 23 years, and I was 21 when my ex-husband and I met. So I was very young. and came out of a checkered childhood. And so, so don't know that I was definitely really knew what I wanted at that age, and changed and grew so much through a marriage, I think, and probably we just changed and went separate ways. So having these guys teach me what I deserve, what's possible, what's out there, and the differenceness.
Yeah.
The differenceness is not a word, but
it is now.
Yes.
So tell me, how has your faith played a role in all of this going through this last year? How have you kept strong? Because I admire, from what I've seen of you, your faith in Jesus and God, the whole deal. Like you carry a strong faith.
Yes. My faith has been tested in the past couple years. I think after coming back from Bangladesh in a refugee camp and seeing genocide and seeing the evil of what one human being can do to another human being, being able to look in their eyes and see them and do the horrific things that they did. My faith was tested there, and and we'd had some deaths in the family, and then going through the breakup of a marriage. I think it was definitely tested in that. And I think this last year has done two things. It has strengthened my faith to really see that the people and the instances that God has put into my life to make me stronger, so incredibly much stronger than I was a year ago, and make me grow and realize things about myself, and yet totally tested. Like, why me? Mm-hmm. Why does this have to happen to me? Why don't I deserve to be happy? And things like that. So it's been an interesting dichotomy this year of really, and it's still a work in progress. And every Sunday is different sometimes.
Yes.
But I think your journey to faith with faith is always a work in progress.
Yeah.
And trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, yes.
One thing I've recently learned, and we kind of touched on this when you were chatting earlier, like I've learned, through all the stuff, through all your growth, we've talked about those days where we're not so fit, spiritually fit. We're not so spiritually well, or we're not working on the positivity all day long. Yeah. And for a long time, I've been making myself wrong for those moments of imperfection. Yes. Do you find yourself there? And how do you handle that?
I have definitely found myself there through a long time now. I think a lot of women struggle with that imperfection, and that it's not okay to not be perfect. And I'm a perfectionist. I'm trying to be a recovering perfectionist. But, this last year I've cried more in this last year, and I'm not normally a crier. I don't want to allow people to see that emotion because I feel like it would make me appear weak. And so, I think this last year has definitely showed me that it's okay to show that emotion, and more people have seen me cry and get emotional, and it's okay. And I'm not perfect, and that's okay. And it's, again, still a struggle every day, I think, but wouldn't want it to be easy.
Right. Yes. We don't learn when it's easy necessarily.
No, we don't. Yes. And growth happens at the end of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And
those tears are so important. And so they provide such a relief and a healing.
They do.
That nothing else can. And I've found that too. I too have shed more tears this last year than a long time. Yeah. Like I found myself very emotional as I heal and grow through things. And it's like, I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that it doesn't make me weak. Mm-hmm. Just like some people tell me how I'm really kind, and I think that word is weak. And I don't want to be known as kind. I want to be known as a badass woman.
Exactly.
Who holds it all together, you know, and that's not how it is.
Yes.
So I love that about you. So share more with me, too, what you're doing. So that your health coaching, and what is it? Why health coaching, and, what do you hope to do?
Why health coaching? So I have had a lifelong struggle with body image and kind of fluctuations in weight up and down, feeling healthy. And I had finally gotten to my wit's end probably about 5 years ago and hired a health coach. And it was life-changing. And I still really don't know mentally what he did to me, but totally changed the way I looked at my body. And I'd always been passionate about using food as medicine and using food to heal the body. So it wasn't as much that piece. It was the mental piece of changing those habits and the way you thought about yourself. And so I had always because I was passionate about using food as medicine and more of that natural, holistic approach to healthcare and disease and things. And so I'd always kind of tossed around becoming a health coach, but had, so much other stuff on my plate. And then when I got separated, my ex-husband moved out one day and I signed up for the health coaching program the next day. Because I like my life. I like my job. I enjoy being a stay-at-home mom and didn't really want to have to go out and get a full-time job again. And health coaching is something that I can do on my own time from anywhere in the world. I'm incredibly wanderlust and love traveling. And want to be able to do that and still keep the job I love in nursing and be able to be there for my girls. And it drew me to that. And I'm super excited to be able to teach people that changing the way you think about yourself, putting self-care into your life, stress management. I mean, stress is such a huge indicator of disease, and it's rampant in this country. And nobody understands what chronic stress does to you, and that it doesn't take a lot to be able to decrease that stress. And so being able to teach people that it's the food you eat, it's the movement that you do on a daily basis, it's the way you think, it's, taking a second during the day to breathe. And those things are so hugely impactful. And then tying that all in with habit change. So just little itsy bitsy changes will eventually, you look back and you're like, wow, I'm a different person and have different habits and they're healthier.
Yeah.
And
I think too often people think that it's like this big, huge leap that has to be taken, like the all or nothing, the black or white,
yes,
go big or go home type of mentality. And it's not, it's the small little habits, these little shifts that you make. And then as soon as you get, a couple under your belt, you add on something like,
yes,
it's not it doesn't have to be a big transformation at once.
It's not a big transformation. And I think that people tend to think that you're going to be forced to change your diet drastically. Like, oh my gosh, I'm only going to be able to eat vegetables.
Yes.
And that's not the way I work. Everybody is different. So what works to make me healthy is not going to be the same thing that works to make you healthy. And so that's fun, trying to figure out that puzzle of what foods do keep you feeling the best and what foods keep somebody else feeling the best, and kind of playing with that to figure out the perfect diet for somebody, which is going to make them thrive.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
That part is fun.
There's no one size fits all, and it's different for everybody.
Yes.
And I have definitely noticed for myself in the last year, more so than any other, like how much food does play into my mood, how I'm feeling, or how stress does. I've had a frozen shoulder for like 9 months. Oh. And I know some of that inflammation is stemmed from mental stuff.
Yes.
And I'm still kind of on the fence with it because it's, it's like, oh, that's woo woo. But the more I read about it and talk to people about it, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yes. There is so much in that woo woo Eastern medicine-y type of stuff. And Western medicine plays a huge part. I mean, Western medicine is vital to saving lives. But I think that a good combination of that Eastern woo woo kind of stuff, I mean, it's been around for thousands of years. And there has to be something to that. And bringing that into my practice and things like meditation and yoga and breathing and cold therapy and all those kind of fun things, just kind of add it all into a big holistic way of looking at life. And take what you want and don't take what you don't want.
Yes.
I'm not there to drag somebody over the finish line.
Yes.
I'm equipping you with some tools because you need to do it for yourself.
Yes.
I can't force anybody to change. You have to want it for yourself and you have to put the work in. So I'm just there to try to hold you accountable and share with you the tools that I think can help.
Yeah.
And then
that's such an important mindset to have when it comes to health. Because anybody who's trying to teach anybody else or coach somebody else, because we can give you all the tools. You're the one that has to pick them up and take them.
Yeah.
And if you don't take them, I'm not here to pull you.
Exactly.
And and I think having that mindset is so vital too, because those who want to continue to pull, like they can get so burnt out so fast.
Yes. Yeah. And trying to not think about, making money in health coaching is great.
Yes.
But that's not my main focus. I want to change the face of healthcare because I see as a nurse, especially in pediatrics, seeing really young kids coming in with type 2 diabetes and diseases that are not meant for adults, but that adults used to get are now seeping down into super young children. And that just makes me so sad because their lifespan is going to be cut short. And it's all, look at the food they're eating.
It's all preventable.
And their lifestyles, and they're sitting in front of screens, and it is all preventable. And being able to have any piece in changing that and just making one person healthier is enough for me.
Yeah. So you never know what can happen from that one change.
The ripple effect.
The ripple effect.
Yeah.
I love that. Share with me a little bit about, so you've done nursing forever. You're a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. And I'm not calling you old at all because you're not old.
Thank you.
So many women around your age, I don't know how far apart we are. It's not that far, I'm sure, but
I'm 21. What are you talking about?
Exactly. They're afraid to make a change like that. They're afraid to step out boldly into something new for themselves that they have a passion for. It's
scary. And I think in this past year, I was pushed a little bit, which was a push, I think, again, spirit-led, a push I needed. But when you look back on it, I mean, I still have half of my life left to live.
Yes.
I mean, and it's the good half. I'm not trying to go through growing up. I get to live the second half of my life as an adult, knowing what I want, knowing who I am, working on dreams. And so I think that's exciting. So it makes me not feel quite as old there. Because I feel I am 45, so sometimes I feel old.
Yes.
But yeah, looking at it that way is I still have a ton of life left.
You do. And I love that. I hear people my age all the time say, I'm so old, because how old am I? 36. I'll be 37. I'm so old. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Stop saying that. We have a lot of life. If you really think about it, there's a lot of life left for both of us.
There is, yes. And again, with the health coaching, if you are making great, awesome, positive choices with, how you fuel your body, how you move, I can live to 100. And so then I have more than half of my life still left.
Yeah.
So I think that plays a huge piece into it too. Yes, I am old if I'm not doing what I need to make myself feel the best.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing when you see 80-year-olds, some who are out there running marathons and some who are stuck in a bed. There's a difference there between.
There is.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And I think a huge piece of that is mental and not thinking that you're old.
Yes.
And realizing you still can do everything you want to do and to live your life to the fullest.
Yeah. No, I agree so much. What's coming up here in 2020 for you?
2020. This is the year of abundance. I have termed it that year. I really want to focus on the health coaching business and really being able to impact as many lives as possible. And focus on finding love and getting that back. And I'm good with who I am. And this last year has been very much a growth mindset of becoming very comfortable with being by myself and who I am. But still would like to find that love. And getting to have some adventures, going on some super fun adventures this summer, taking the girls to Europe for 10 days.
That'll be awesome.
Very excited. And I'm going back to Palestine in June and to a conference there, which I'm really excited about. And just getting to, travel and see the world and do that with the girls and get to show them the world. And
I love that. That's so exciting. And so you're building your health coach. You get to do traveling, which I love travel. I cannot wait to do more of that. Yeah. And what are you personally working on right now to help you grow yourself so you can grow that business of yours?
I think to help me grow my self-care, I think is huge for me. I really need to focus on my self-care. And I do a really good job of it for a time, and then something will come up and then you get off track. And so really, I think consistent self-care and time management skills.
Yeah.
Not what I'm very good at.
Yeah.
Yes. And looking at the positive side of all of it and how far I've come and what I have.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite self-care practices?
My morning routine is huge for me, and it can be a good day or a bad day based on pretty much my morning routine. So getting up early, I meditate for 15 minutes. I do that twice a day. And if I can get it in twice a day, I feel much better. Some yoga and stretching, gratitude, and then kind of just looking at my dreams and my goals every day to make sure that is foremost in my head, and a good cup of coffee. And getting outside. I try to, regardless of what the weather is, I try to get outside and at least take a few sips of coffee outside, just to get that fresh air.
Oh, I love that.
And cold showers. I do cold showers every morning. And that also, it can be a little bit of a game changer for the day. It energizes me, and I don't get sick very often at all. And I feel like that plays a huge piece in that. I have a pretty strong immune system. And whether that's from working in a pediatric ER for many years or what I do to make sure that's pretty strong. But yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Is there anything else that's on your heart you want to share with us?
I don't think so.
Thank you so much. I loved having this conversation with you and just getting to know you a little bit better. And I love your mission. I love that you want to change the face of healthcare, and you're coming at it from such a place of service and love. And I think you're going to change a lot of lives, not just one. I think you're going to help a lot of people. And I am excited to walk with you on the journey in it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Where can we find you at?
My website, livetothrive.com. You can find me on there. I'm also on Facebook at Becca Coaches, I think. And then Instagram, although I'm not super involved in Instagram.
Awesome. So, exciting. I will make sure to link all of that up in the show notes.
Okay, great.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And you guys, if you love this episode, please make sure you go over to iTunes, leave a 5-star review, and share this with your friends and family. That's how we best get our message out. So thanks again, Becca.
Thank you.
Hi, friends. If you enjoyed this episode of the Just As We Are podcast, it would mean so much to me if you would head on over to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review. Take a screenshot of today's episode and tag me at Katrina Lully on your social media. If you haven't already, head on over to the Just As We Are podcast community on Facebook and hit join, where you will get to join more of the Just As We Are tribe. And remember that no matter where you are on your journey, you are completely whole and loved just as you are.